Tonight in CVM News at 7, People's National Party, PNP, postpones its parish meetings in Crossroads. JLP rubbishes PNP's reason for cancelling meeting. Pastor's car set on fire on church grounds. In traditional flavours, enjoying Mother Earth's provisions. Later in our social segment, what do you think would make, do you think would make a better Minister of Finance? While in sports, Jamaica through to Saturday's CONCACAF Under-15 Championship. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Friday, August 8, 2025. I'm Curlin Brown. And we begin with this update. In a twist of events, the People's National Party, the PNP, announced a rescheduling of its parish meeting, which was set for Sunday in Crossroads. Now, there was mounting concern. Both the PNP and the JLP were staging events in the corporate area in close proximity on the same day. Amoy Harriet has been tracking that story.
Crossroads and Halfway Tree in Kingston were poised to be the epicenters of political showdown this weekend. Both the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party were scheduled to host rallies in the areas on Sunday, the distance between the two being only 2 miles. But the PNP is now pulling the plug on its meeting until further notice. In a press release Friday, the party said it secured all necessary permits well in advance for the staging of this final parish meeting in St. Andrew. However, the release added, the JLP leader and the Prime Minister's belated decision to schedule a political event in Halfway Tree on the same day creates an unnecessary overlap that risks placing supporters of both parties in close proximity.
In the expectation that the JLP rally is to announce the date of the general election, something which we and the people of Jamaica have been calling for, we have decided to hold our meeting on a later date to be announced. We would not want our supporters to be concerned about possible confrontation in this time of intense political fervor, a potential risk that would be heightened with both parties having meetings on the same night, relatively close to each other.
PNP President Mark Golding had this appeal.
I call on all Jamaicans to behave in a respectful and orderly manner and avoid any political confrontation, so that we can have a clean and peaceful election.
Now, the party's decision to postpone the meeting due to public safety concerns follows weeks marred by reports of vandalism of political paraphernalia and alleged harassment by party supporters on both sides. This was on Thursday along Rosemary Lane in Kingston.
That on the phone I come down to. I want to feel like, we're not afraid of Uno. I'm going to tell you that. We're not afraid of Uno.
And this is just one of many such incidents in recent times. Liaison Officer for the Political Ombudsman, LaFron Thompson, in an interview with CVM News earlier this week, said despite some reports of vandalism, things have been mostly peaceful. But concerns persist that the election period could spark further violence.
These incidents happening in plain daylight along Rosemary Lane, Rum Lane, and the Prime Minister is down there in the constituency. A lot of police officers are down there, and this kind of thing is happening.
Amoy Harriet, CVM News.
But the JLP is rubbishing claims by the PNP. The meeting in Crossroads was cancelled in the interest of the public. Chairman of the JLP's Communication Task Force, Senator Apka Fitz-Henley, says the party doesn't intend to go tit for tat about who first made arrangements to host a meeting in Kingston and St. Andrew.
That is not our understanding of the facts, but I don't propose to get into a tit for tat with Golding and the PNP because their track record of misleading the people of Jamaica is well known. I heard the opposition leader suggesting the Prime Minister had planned a meeting. He well knows that the planning of political meetings is really a function of the Secretariat of Political Parties, but he's so covetous of the Prime Minister He seeks to disparage Dr. Holness any opportunity he gets. But I believe the people of Jamaica see that for what it is. Envy and a willingness to mislead on the part of Golding.
And CVM News invites you to join us this Sunday at 6 p.m. for a special lead story. You'll hear insights from leading political experts. Plus, CVM News reporters will be live on location in Halfway Tree, covering the JLP meeting as it unfolds. So don't miss this important broadcast. That's Sunday at 6 p.m. only on CVM TV. Now, even as a vast majority of Jamaicans are on election date watch, the politicians are extending their individual and collective reach, making themselves accessible and even vulnerable. A face-to-face session dubbed Let's Talk with persons with disabilities and stakeholders, the PNP leader, who has been repeatedly challenged by some from the JLP to prove his place of birth, leveled with them.
I'm really a Jamaican by birth because of this whole thing, because my dad came here in 1953 and he wasn't intending to stay in Jamaica. He had a one-year contract and he was supposed to be going, I think, to the University of Chicago where he had a post. But there was the polio epidemic and there was a Kendall train crash and he was very involved at the request of the government of the day in responding to both of those crises. Met my mother here and, had two of us, my sister and I. So, I could say that it's a whole issue of persons with disabilities and so on, why I was born in Jamaica.
Yeah, real Jamaican.
Man.
And now, as a politician, unlike his father who was involved in institution building, Mark Golding is recommitting to take the Disability Act of 2014 instituted under a PNP-led government to another level, including making it more than just a law that exists on the books, but something that has an impact on the quality of life and opportunities for those it's intended.
We have a plan now for when we next form government. And we want to establish a disabilities fund. And our target initially is to start it with $1 billion. And that fund, yes. And that fund is not to displace or replace the existing arrangements and budgetary allocations within government and government agencies that support persons with disabilities.
In fact, he says it will be additional funding dedicated to targeting specific issues for that community.
It could assist organizations that support and advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities. It could assist individuals who need assistive devices and aids to acquire those. It could assist persons, for example, who have a prosthesis that needs repair and want to be able to access the cost of repairing their prosthesis. Right now that's a gap that doesn't exist, and we need to fill that gap.
Cara Moore, an educator and poultry farmer who lost both feet due to complications with diabetes, represents a community that remains undaunted in spirit and purpose in spite of challenges. Well, as voters weigh their options this week, one faith-based organization offered a different modus operandi on CVM's lead story. The Jamaica First movement, represented by Reverend Al Miller, knocking on the doors of mainstream politics, says it intends to provide a shift in the national conversation. The leader makes the case the most effective political solutions are not found in shouting matches or bus stores, but in a deeper commitment to ethical principles rooted in faith. Crystal Williams has more.
The long-standing perception remains that all politicians are the same. The Jamaica First movement, however, insists there is room for a different aura in politics. But there are questions as to how far the intentions of its campaign will go. Well-known religious stalwart Reverend Al Miller on Thursday's lead story says there is a different way to operate around decision-making time, especially as a people raised on certain values and principles. Miller agreed that the power trip usually brought about by politics, whether innocent or otherwise, has the power to change a person from the inside out. And it is important for politicians to pay attention to the true purpose of leadership.
There is a better way. Let us allow values that which our founding fathers cried for. They laid this country on the basis of fundamental Christian values, righteousness, truth, and justice. And we say, come on, if that's what we believe, then it should run across everything and inform the way we do our politics.
Yes.
According to the Minister of Religion, ideally, the groups being targeted, whether for positions of leadership, service, or donation, will all share the same inner gene: patriotism to their island.
The purpose should be bigger than you. The purpose should be embracing others, because love should be that driving force that informs life. So when we do that, we are able to rise above it and not let the system entrap us.
According to Miller's research, an alarming 70% of citizens who have the opportunity to vote choose not to do so.
So we're appealing to patriotic Jamaicans who have the ability and want to put Jamaica first and say to them, come on, give 5 years of service to nation.
He also observes how many of these voters are seen as millennial and that younger voters have abandoned their political voice.
The young people. And the young people are hungry for something, and they have the energy. As we challenge them to say, come on, this is in your own best interest. It's for your future, your children. Wake up and move.
With reference to independent parties outside of the JLP and PNP, the movement leader admits history does not seem to be on the side of a party known as the underdog. However, he does not intend to pay attention to the negativity of this situation.
If we take that attitude, you never do anything. That's why it's going to take bold leadership. It's going to take courage. It's going to take commitment, a will to a purpose. I believe we have 100 Jamaicans out there who think like me. We have 100 serious leaders in this country who want to see more. All I am praying for is that the courage, the strength of will be there and step forward.
Despite how it may seem, it is not Miller's preference to offer himself as a candidate. He would rather focus on training the upcoming council within the party to lead not just the party, but Jamaica as a whole to a victorious standpoint.
My real role, ideally, is to lead that team of coaches, of good citizens who have the maturity, the experience, and then we will work with and coach a winning team so that to make Jamaica win.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Stay with us for more CVM News at 7, coming up in a moment.
Everybody out. Fried chicken with a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together. Everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flames. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Bucket together, bucket together.
It's Feel Good Days at Courts with up to $70,000 off select items. Get an Eleanor dresser and nightstand combo for only $39,999. Queen mattress and base combo starting at $67,999. A Mojave fridge stove and microwave combo for only $112,999. Or a 75-inch TCL Smart TV and soundbar combo for $149,999. Plus get 20% off or a $10,000 book voucher with select credit purchases. It's Feel Good Days at Courts, bringing value home. Offers in August 24. Conditions apply.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm rising.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Now, the country has come a long way in managing its economy since independence in 1962, but experts say the country's growth story is still far from complete. The nation has made big gains in terms of reducing GDP, addressing unemployment and poverty. But development economist Chris Stokes and Sondre Roden explains there needs to be more improvements in economic growth and productivity.
Since gaining independence, Jamaica's economy has recorded moderate growth. Development economist Sondre Roden says one of the biggest wins in recent years is how much the country has reduced its debt. He explains that Jamaica's debt compared to the size of the country's economy has dropped by 70%, meaning the country is now in a strong financial state with more to invest in things like education, healthcare, and infrastructure.
And we've also seen some sustained periods of fiscal surpluses. And yes, we want to see more of that. We want to get to those percentage points where we can be really, really happy, but it's positive that we're seeing surpluses.
Development economist Chris Stokes cites improvement in the poverty and unemployment rate, stating that it is at a historical low. But Roden explains that there are still unemployment issues despite national job growth.
There is still a section of the population that is outside of the band of measured employment, where you say who is employed and who is unemployed. And that is something the government has proposed a solidarity program to remedy to some respects. But I think in a general way, we need to see how we solve those problems. So the businessmen in recent times that have been crying out, saying they're not having enough workers, so that we can get enough people in the formal labor force to be a part of that and to take up the jobs that are out there.
Stokes warns that economic growth and productivity remain stubbornly low. He says Jamaica has yet to make significant progress to becoming a high-income country. Roden explains the problem is linked to global supply chain issues, particularly due to Jamaica importing goods from countries that are at war.
Those conflicts across the world equates to the issues of the goods that we want and need, whether it's food, whether it's clothes, whatever those goods are, that impacts the prices of goods in Jamaica. So of course, we're going to have persistent inflationary pressures as long as these conflicts continue in that way.
Roden is suggesting that the government invest in digital transformation so that we will have updated systems, faster and easier processes, which will propel economic growth. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Preparations for the hurricane season are still underway, according to the Mayor of Savannah Lamar, Danry Delancey. And despite a lack of funding, the municipal corporation remains on high alert. Here's Raymond Morrison with more.
With the hurricane season now underway, the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation says it is ramping up preparations to minimize the impact of any potential disaster. Mayor Danry Delancey says drain cleaning and other mitigation measures are already being undertaken in several communities.
We have also been preparing in terms of visiting emergency shelters and ensuring that they are up to standard. We have been doing some amount of training as well with our emergency shelter managers. We have also been pre-positioning supplies as stipulated by the ADPEM. We have also been doing some amount of drain cleaning.
But while work is being done, Mayor Delancey revealed that the corporation has received no funding for the cleaning exercise, making the task even more challenging.
Drain cleaning is a very expensive activity. And let me point out that the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation has not received any funding specifically for drain cleaning, as was the norm some years ago. Nonetheless, we have used what we got in May, because May's allocation came in June, and June allocation came in July. So we have been placed behind the 8 ball, so to speak, in terms of getting the funding, although small, in a timely manner.
And as the coastal town continues to face infrastructural issues, Mayor Delancey is renewing his call for a complete overhaul of Savlamar, one that takes a holistic and long-term approach to development.
The town of Savlamar in particular needs a comprehensive drain cleaning program, along with a comprehensive reconstruction of some of these drains here. Back in the days when most of these drains were constructed here in South, we didn't have so much runoff water. Now we have more concrete than actual soil in South Jamaica. And bearing in mind the situation of South, with it being said to be below or just about in some places sea level.
The mayor says the corporation will continue to monitor weather bulletins and urges residents to stay alert and take all necessary precautions. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
And we'll be right back with lots more.
We a bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken we a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flame. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
All roads lead to Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, August 10, 4 p.m. for the Jamaica Labour Party mass rally. Main address comes from Prime Minister and Party Leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Bank to bank, JLP River come down. Mass rally, Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, 4 p.m. We choose Jamaica. See you there.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Hi besties, Allen Village is the capital of cool, no cap. So shop till you drop or until your data runs out. Grab some popsicles and then hit the beach like it's a soft launch. Slay. Vibes, immaculate. Energy giving main character. So yeah, this is your sign. Come outside.
Welcome back. It's a good day to enjoy Mother Earth's provisions, hand-picked, prepared, flavored, and planted in a traditional way.
Ital is vital. It's and see there.
Basically, this because I've done so many things already, but this basically it will just take a few minutes, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes, to cut it up, because I'm gonna stir fry it today, right? So I'm not gonna do a steam, or I just do it live or stir fry today.
Are we keeping it Jamaican?
Always.
Right out of the earth.
Yeah, man, always.
Traditional flavor, we say. Okay. So what do you put with it? I mean, no salt.
Yes, I use either the black salt or the Amalanian salt, which is the pink salt. Right? I don't use much of it, but because we don't have it as salt either. We know it's mineral stones from the volcano, so it's not salt with sodium, right? And then we would put a little, coconut milk in it, right? Then we would put a little sage, felon seeds, carigana, and
What about garlic?
I basically don't use garlic in my food like that. Why I don't use garlic? Because they say it's genetically modified. So I do nothing that's genetically modified, right? But we use like this wild parsley and all pure bay leaves, cloves, tomatoes, that kind of seasons we use. We don't even really use like the regular tomatoes. We'll get the tomatoes that we find in the countries that they say is out back, the one that grows by itself, that we call tomatoes in Jamaica, the little bitty tomatoes. So yeah, basically we use most of all our things is either grown wild or it's grown wild. We don't really basically use cultivated things.
And you say this is lifelong. You've been doing this from a child.
Yes.
And here you are.
Yes. And very
sharing. Hey!
very genetically.
Very energetic.
Yes.
So Ross, what you serve this with? What you serve this with?
Well, I serve it with quinoa, ackee. I have a lentil stew, crushed sweet potatoes with like cocoa in it or dasheen in it, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I smell roast breadfruit. I don't know if my nose are going.
No, we have breadfruit that we roast too, and we fry the plantain that we serve on the meal as well.
So dinner ready, man?
Yes, sir. Here you go.
So why not we plate it? What's in our calabash?
You didn't get any breadfruit because I didn't get the breadfruit when finished, but you have callaloo, you have fried plantain, you have the mixture of the wild vegetable, the ramgot damalash in it, you have a lentil stew, crushed sweet potato, and quinoa.
And basically, someone will come in and order this combo.
Yes, indeed.
See this? Look at colors. Traditional. A green somewhere look like, a green somewhere still. Okay.
Get for dinner.
Want some? That's traditional flavors for you.
For August 1, what an eye repair. I'm Curlin Brown.
Ronaldo.
Curling. Good evening.
What you have to tell us now?
A lot, but I'll keep it concise. Good evening, viewers, of course. So, our under-15 reggae boys, they are currently at the CONCACAF under-15 championships underway in Aruba. And they have been delivering knockout blows all tournament. And they took that momentum into the semi-final today where they defeated Trinidad and Tobago 6-2. And they play the final tomorrow against Puerto Rico. Of course, today is Friday. That means we will have our winner's edge with Rohan Daly. And also, of course, the West Indies are currently underway against Pakistan in cricket as well. So very much, a lot of news for sports this evening. And join me then.
Of course, we shall wait to see. We will be right back with lots more here on the set. Stay with us.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Welcome back. I want to tell you what's happening on our social spaces. Well, CVM News at 7 for the past 24 hours. We've been asking across our digital platforms who would make a better Minister of Finance. Well, just a reminder that this is not a scientific poll. It started with a poll on X. The PNP's Julian Robinson emerged as a favorite with a commanding 82%, leaving Favour Williams with a mere 18%. But Facebook told a different tale. There, the gap was closer. Robinson, 56%, Williams, 44%. And over on YouTube, viewers also weighed Robinson pulled ahead, again, 66% to Williams' 34%. Then came a twist on Instagram. Favour Williams dominated with a staggering 71%, while Robinson trailed at 29%. And so after all the votes were tallied, it was Julian Robinson with 58% and Favour Williams with 42%. Of course, we invite you to stay with us and look out for our next poll. That will be on Sunday. Let's now go to our regional and international news.
While the removal of sargassum weed has been done by individual hotels, the Department of Marine Resources is gearing up to join the annual challenge of dealing with the invasion of sargassum. More from SKN Newsline.
While the removal of sargassum weed has been done by individual hotels, the Department of Marine Resources is gearing up to join the annual challenge of dealing with the invasion of sargassum, according to Maritza Quilly, Port State Control Officer in the Department of Marine Resources on St. Kitts. Speaking recently at a press conference involving the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources, the Port Control Officer said no data has been collected on the amount of the troublesome seaweed removed and dumped each year. As she outlines recent developments the department is undertaking, including setting up a structured approach to manage the annual sargassum invasion and possible uses of the seaweed.
We are now, with the procurement of some of these equipment, would be looking at the areas specifically that impact landing site and, of course, the hotel industries and those beaches that are frequently visited by our locals and tourists.
And in international news, authorities in France say a wildfire that swept through the southwest has now been brought under control. Since Tuesday, more than 2,000 firefighters have battled the blaze on the ground and from the air. That report from Al Jazeera.
I'm at what is the staging post for an enormous emergency response to this wildfire in southwest France, and the word here on Friday morning is that it has been contained, which is not to say the flames are out. There is still much work to be done, they say, but it has been brought under control.
An area of 16,000 hectares with a perimeter of 95 kilometers is now contained. There is no further fire spread outside this area, but there are still risks of flare-ups and hotspots within the perimeter.
They'll keep watch, of course, across the fire's various fronts in case of flare-ups. The wind is still changeable. It's extremely hot and expected to get hotter with a new heat wave going into the weekend. Temperatures expected to reach around 40 degrees Celsius. So this parched, now largely blackened landscape remains extremely vulnerable, and few here, including the French government, would deny the underlying cause. Increasingly hot, dry summers, not just here but across southern Europe. That means climate change and drought.
We were already on high alert when this fire started. The humidity was below 30%, around 23. The temperature was well above 30 degrees and the winds were very strong.
Now people who have evacuated their homes and villages can return, in some cases like this one, finding little left. But a damage assessment can already begin to be told in the numbers. 16,000 hectares torn through by this wildfire in under 72 hours. That's an area the size of the city of Paris. 13 people injured, 1 dead. France's worst wildfire in 75 years.
And that's it for regional and international news.
And it will be time for sports in full right after this.
take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic. Well then, let's propel we nation, moving forward in a new direction. True independence, that's the projection. No more dependency, it's the best plan. Yes, we know what's best for us, cause we want we country prosperous. So make we just pull together as the general public while on the road to republic. Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic.
A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
We on the road to republic.
Good evening and welcome to sports. I'm Ronaldo Adams. We begin this evening with news on cricket. Pakistan reached 147 for 3 after 28 overs in the first one-day international against the West Indies at the Brian Lara Academy in Tarouba, still needing a further 134 runs to win. Earlier, 3 West Indies players, Evan Lewis, skipper Shea Hope and Roston Chase, all got good starts, but failed to carry on as the West Indies fell 4 short of their target, according to Chase. Jamaica's under-15 Reggae Boys stormed into the final of League B at the 2025 CONCACAF Boys Under-15 Championships with a commanding 6-2 win over Trinidad and Tobago in Friday's semi-final in Aruba. Kendrick Brown